Okay, we are continuing our ongoing campaign here, Dungeon Crawl Classics, one-on-one campaign with Nikki as the player. We are traveling around, or she is traveling around they are traveling around, there's two of them, are traveling around the Death Rolled Kingdoms as part of the Thousand Islands zines that we're using as kind of our background here. Man, you've been traveling around a bit. The trip that should have taken maybe 6 days to the east. When they say 6 days to the east, they mean if you just keep going. If you stop and go back every couple of days, it's going to take a few days longer. So, yeah. But there was an interesting incident that happened last session where you had been in search of these hands that were lost. The crocodile lost his hands, and you were able to recover them. I think so. Tell us about that and introduce your characters, and we'll see where we're at.
Yes, Yuna and Orin, while traveling down the river, saw two large statues with their hands outstretched across the river, and they had little tiny crocodile hands. So Yuna said, "Those are the crocodiles, the alligators," and she climbed up there to try to get it. Unfortunately, when she touched the crocodile hand, it replaced one of her hands. And so now she has a crocodile hand. And in the ensuing battle with the statues, Orin lost one of his hands as well, and now has a giant statue stone hand on his right hand. And Yuna's hand is actually her right hand as well. They both lost their dominant hands to this misadventure. Right. Yes. So Yuna has a scaly hand. Orin has a large stone hand. And
Right.
And we also managed to defeat the statues, though, and we got the other crocodile hand. So in my bag, I have a hand that belongs to Yuna, a hand that belongs to Orin, and another crocodile hand. So we decided the best thing to do would be to go back to Sajaya and try to get our hands fixed. But on the way there, we ran into a very angry ape. We managed to scare away. Oh, and Orin's also floating an inch above half an inch above the ground at all times now due to his corruption from failing his spell check.
So that is correct. Oh, right.
All
He'll always be floating. Right, he's going to be floating forever, basically, and but yet he still sinks if he walks on water. So
yes,
you have
he can
all
still
the bad stuff. Yep, you have all the bad stuff about floating, but none of the good, essentially.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so that being said, you had managed to make your way back down the river, the canal, the Goldfish Canal, as would be, towards Jaya, which is where you were kind of given this task. You're in your relatively new kayak, shaped like a crocodile, since your boat blew up a couple sessions back. And you, of course, don't forget, have Maya with you.
Mm-hmm.
Maya, the adventurer, we'll call her. She's a lady late in her years who always wanted to be an adventurer. So she's somehow joined your crew. So yeah, she's maybe she's helping paddle because she got some weird, strange hands going on. But as it turns out, it's fairly uneventful. I mean, compared to that, almost anything would seem uneventful. A trip back to Jaya, which of course is a series of huts that are on stilts, kind of right at the edge of the large river there, with several other smaller rivers coming in, including the Goldfish Canal. Mostly populated by crocodiles, but with some humans, as well, doing various tasks and trading. Lots of trading going on in these areas. So you head over to let's see, Aryumser's den, which is essentially you can almost think of it like a giant raft. And underneath it, because you can see it in the water, he's got a big net underneath it, and it's just full of, presumably stuff that's been collected from the ruins, like he sent you to get, and decomposing into the water. So, Yeah, so you're outside his you park up on the standard area where you park the docks and head towards there. I'm assuming you're going to see him first.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Oh yeah, so you show up. He's in there. He's reading a book. He's got a cup of tea. He sees you. He looks up. He's got a monocle. He kind of looks up and he kind of squints and he pops it out. So he can see better at distances. And he says, "Oh, back so soon? Did you recover the books?"
Well, we ran into some issues on the way there.
Oh,
Yes, we found your hands.
excellent. Did the goldfish have them?
No, they were on two statues. But we had a bit of a misadventure, and she holds up her hand. And
He kind of looks at you from a distance, and then he kind of flops down out of his easy chair, and he kind of makes his way over. And he kind of like curls up one of his back legs because he's missing his hands, of course. And he puts the monocle back into his eye, and he looks. Oh, that does look like my hand. Why is it attached to you?
well, it was on the statue, and when I went up to get it, all of a sudden our hands switched. I have your other one, and she'll reach into her bag and get the other hand.
Oh, he looks, his eyes get wide, and the monocle falls out again, and he looks, he says, "Ah, yes, actually, now I remember. That's how I lost my hands. The statues took them. The idols. Some say they are fallen gods, but we crocodiles do not worship gods like that."
Well, they're definitely fallen at this point.
Oh, I see. He kind of nods approvingly, and he says, "Well, we'll need to take my hand off of you, clearly."
Yes, and she pulls out her hand. Says, and I have my hand to, if we could reattach. I don't know if you know how to do that. And poor Orin, drags his stone hand into the room. We had quite the time. So I don't have your books yet, but I do have your hands.
Ah, well, I'm not sure if I'd be able to sew your head back on without my hands, but you have my hands,
Yes.
so that's pretty good. You'll need to sew them onto me. How are you at sewing?
Well, I can certainly try. I'm not the best sewer,
Let's see.
but my fingers are pretty nimble, I could probably do it.
Okay, so he kind of nods. He says, "Well, I can't do it with my, so it looks like we'll have to give it a shot."
What about your
Come.
assistant, Tom? Can he sew?
Oh, well, that is true. Tom could do it. Huh. Hmm.
Because I have one hand is mine and one's a crocodile hand, so I don't know how well I'll be able to sew with one of your hands on my arm.
Right. And he kind of like does this thing to like get you to put your head down closer to him.
Okay.
And he says, "We could have Tom do it, but keep an eye on him. He's always been envious of my hands. He thinks they're magic."
Well, you don't like magic.
That's right.
Why would you have magic hands?
Exactly. This is the point. So he's a bit crazed. So if he tries to run with the hands, you'll have to promise me to stop him. Don't kill him or anything. It's hard to get good assistance. He can hold his breath for a long time, which is very useful.
Oh, I imagine so. All right. I will, I'll keep an eye on Tom so he doesn't steal your hands.
Okay. All right. And you kind of look up, and Tom's like standing there. He
Oh,
looks. He's like, "Ah, you're back."
yes, and we found Mr. Msir's hands, but we might need your assistance with.
Oh, you found the hands.
Yes,
That's very interesting.
they're his hands.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Did the goldfish have them?
No, they were on statues.
Well, that's weird. But okay. Well, that's good news. Now he will have the hands back because he's always wanted the hands, and it would be good for him to have the hands now for things that you use hands for.
Yes. Can you help us? As you can see, and I hold up my crocodile hand, I had a mishap myself.
Oh, you've taken one of the hands.
I didn't mean to take one of the hands.
May I see it?
I'm not going to give him the loose hand. I'll let him see the one that's attached to me.
Okay. He like kind of takes your hand and he's looking at the words where it's attached and everything. And he's like, he sniffs it. Interesting. How do you feel? Powerful?
No, I feel like you know. Only I have a crocodile hand where my dagger hand should be.
Right, right. But do you feel like you could do things that you couldn't before?
No, I don't feel that way at all. I just
Perhaps
feel
we
like
should
it's not.
test. And then your sister says, "Can we get on with this?" Oh, Thomas. Oh, yes, of course, of course. I was just, just curious. What are we doing?
We're going to sew Mr. Umsir's hand back onto him. The one that, at least the one that's loose.
Oh, you have a loose hand.
Yes, I do.
Ah, why didn't
It's
you put that one
his.
on as well?
Because I am not a crocodile, and these hands don't do anything for me. I need my hands.
Huh? You're not from around here. I can tell.
No, I'm not.
Well, okay. I can do this. I'm very good with sewing.
If I
Hmm. Uh, I'll need to see the hand, and then maybe if you guys want to go and get some thread for me, I can decide like what the steps should be taken.
I'll go get the thread first. And we'll do this all together.
Right, but how will I know what kind of thread I need until you leave the hand with me when you go to get the thread?
No. No, you can look at the hand now, and then I'll take the hand with me when I go get the thread.
Oh, well, of course, of course. I mean, unless you want to go together, I could hold the hand. I could hold your hand.
Okay. I'm not going to give him the loose hand. No, it's not happening. But we can go together to get the thread. That's fine.
Okay. And he turns around and reaches up on a shelf. There's some thread there. He says, "All right, I have it. So, uh, let's do this. First, I'll need to cut off your hand.
Well, let's sew the loose one back on first, so that maybe Mr. Umsir could take a look, and maybe there's a way to get it off that doesn't involve that.
Oh, like you could bite it off.
Suppose he could. Let's tie the loose hand first.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so he plops down on the ground. He takes the thread, and he kind of like reaches his pocket and pulls out a needle, and gets it all set. And then he says, "Okay, Mr. Sir," and then the crocodile sticks his hand out. Well, his stump out, and he looks up at you. I'll need the hand.
I give him the hand.
What if we tested it first on me? You could cut off my hand and put this one on, and then we'll know if it works or not.
No, I think it'll work. Just sew it onto Mr. Msir.
Okay. He puts it there. He starts sewing.
Okay.
It takes a little while. He's sewing it on there. Crocodile's like looking at you. He says, oh, I can feel the, he wiggles his fingers a little bit. He says, oh, this is good. This is very good. And eventually it probably takes him like 10 minutes. So he gets it on there. He pulls the last thread. He bites it, ties it. He says, I'm sorry. Wow, this is fantastic. Good job, Tom. I knew I could trust you.
Yes, Tom is very trustworthy. I give him that look.
Yes. Should we chop off your hand?
Is that the only way to do this?
Well, how did you get it on there?
I don't know. I just touched the statue's hand and it switched. It was some sort of magic, and as you know, magic can be very bad.
Yeah, magic is terrible. Did you bring any of the statue with you?
I don't think I did. No. I did not. Well, yes, actually. I mean, Orin has part of it on his hand.
Oh.
I'll show him Orin's hand.
Oh, yeah. Right, you're right. That's right. He does have it. He says,
he does have
I thought that's how his hand normally was.
Oh, no.
You humans are very oddly shaped.
Not usually quite that oddly shaped. Normally our hands match.
Okay. So, he sticks like his stump forward, and he says, you touch my hand to here, and... All right, we have to touch all the hands at once. Where's that bag of hands?
I'll take out the other two hands, Orin's hand and Yuna's hand.
All right. And he sticks his stump out, and he's like, you gotta touch them all at once.
Okay. I call Orin over. Orin has his hand in his left hand. I have my hand in my left hand. Try to keep track. Put our hands in.
Okay. All right. And he says, all right, we're going to touch them together. And this might work. Make a luck check.
Okay. My dice. Here it is. Oh, yep, 6 under 12.
Oh, okay. Yes. There's like a weird sensation, and you hear bang as the metal hand hits the ground. And both Orin and Una, and also including our sirs, all have their hands back.
Wow.
And,
Sir, you're so wise. How did you know that would work?
Well, you've been around as long as I have.
Well, now I can get you your books. I haven't forgotten.
Oh, yes. Oh, fantastic. Yes. The books in the red
The red key.
area. Yeah, okay, yeah, good. Yes, those need to be destroyed. Very important.
Well, at least now you have your hands back.
Yes, yes, I do. You kind of look and you see Thomas got the big hand now and he's sitting on the ground and he's got it. He's looking at it.
That one might bring you power, Tom.
Right, and when you say that, then Mr. Turns, he says, "Oh, Tom, put that in below. That's magic. It must be destroyed." Tom kind of... And he walks over. There's like a trapdoor on the floor and he opens it up and drops it in.
All right. All right.
Damn, he says. Yeah, and your hands are back.
Whew. Good. Because I did not want Orin to have to take like a -4 every time he cast a spell.
Yes, that would have been bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Hands
Yeah,
back.
sure. Yeah, it was good that you took. Well, I guess you didn't do it intentionally, but that you took a piece of statue.
Right.
Because otherwise, you would have been 3 more days back up the river to get the piece of statue to come back.
But
This
that
is
doesn't
becoming
have to happen.
6 months up the river. Yeah. So he is totally fine with what the which he says. Oh, thank you so much. If there's anything I can do, do you need anything for your expedition? I think you got everything before you left the last time. You should be pretty good, pretty well stocked, right? You have all that equipment and everything.
Yes, and then we rebought a bunch of stuff, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, you did, but he doesn't know that, of course. He
Right.
thinks you still have all the stuff you had before.
I don't suppose you have another keg of blasting powder.
Another keg. What did you use the first one for?
To blow up a magic statue.
Oh, a magic
And-
statue.
Yeah, it was definitely magic. Came up out of the water, singing a song, trying to silence my friend here. A magic statue. I blew it up.
A singing magic statue.
Yes.
Are you sure it wasn't one of the goldfish?
Yes, very, very short. It had arms with swords. It was playing
yes.
instruments.
Oh, yes. Goldfish do not play instruments. They just sing a cappella.
Right.
Sure. Tom, get another keg of powder. He looks. Rolls the keg of powder out for you.
Or is like, oh, no. No.
Don't destroy those 2 library books.
I remember. This time we'll only use it to get into the keep, I promise. She says to Orin. So, yes, the library books. We do have to do something with those at some point because I've got to return them on time. So.
You're 22 days. Well, yeah, 22 days decided from the time that.
Yep.
But
Other
it should
than
only be
that,
6 days up the river and then 6 days back. So you should...
Right. Yeah, I should have plenty of time. All right. I say to Mr. Umsur, once again, I'm in your debt for helping me again, although I did bring you your hands, but I will get those books this time.
Excellent.
Things
Yes.
happen when you're traveling. So.
Yes, I know. One time I was traveling and I lost my hands. It was crazy. The statue took them. Be careful.
Oh, I know to be careful around statues now.
Fair enough.
So I need to... Now Orin needs to commune with his familiar to get his force manipulation spell back because he lost it.
Okay.
That.
Yeah. Well, you probably shouldn't do that in front of the crocodile, so you'll go out and
Yep.
you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. You can definitely do that while you were traveling and stuff. You could probably have done it. I guess the next day. So
Okay.
you rest up here before you go overnight, whatever, that you can do that. Um, so you are
Yeah, we'll
back.
on the boat with
With
Maya,
blasting powder. With
the
Maya.
blasting powder. Yeah. I also have, well, Orin drank some, but I still have a vial of honey left and 6 honeycombs.
That's
So,
right.
because I had 3 vials, but Maya had to have one. So
That's right. Well,
we'll
that's her share.
her cut. Yep.
Her cut. Yep. You know, she's an adventurer, just like you are. She wants a cut. Oh, I did actually have a note about that. Orin giant stone right hand. It's actually not even stone. It's actually yeah, it was stone, right? Yuna croc right hand. Carrying croc Orin and Yuna hand. So I did make a
Yeah.
note about that. I was like, I know I have it somewhere. Okay. Here we go. So yeah, so you start heading back up the river.
Right.
Yeah, let's roll a d5.
All right. I have my
See what you encounter the first day on your way up the river.
Oh, there it is.
You're being sent up the river.
A 5.
Oh, fantastic. This is exactly what you did not want.
Ugh.
Oh boy. All right. So roll a d6 to see if you're surprised. Do not roll a 1 or a 2.
Rolled a 3.
Okay. Roll another one to see if he's surprised. I still feel like
Rolled a
rolling
1.
dice. Hey. Oh, you surprised it. Okay. So you're heading up the river. And you round a bend and probably like about 100 yards in front of you, since it's you know, you got the surprise, so you can see it from far away. You see a very, very large 4-armed ape. He is in the center of the canal, trying to catch goldfish. He's got his back to you, and he's like grabbing them. They're like slopping out of his hands. So he keeps like reaching in with all 4 arms, trying to put the goldfish in his mouth, and he's having trouble. He's not a very good fisherman. You do notice that he's, again, very tall. He is white, and has 4 arms, and he has a golden headband on his head, which we noticed last time. And at this moment, he's surprised. So he does not see you yet. He's going to go see. He's basically, you see him. You got some time to act before he turns around and sees you.
Okay. There's no way to get past him, is there?
Not on the canal. You'd have to go on land, maybe, and try to like skirt him if you want to try to sneak past him. But you'll be carrying a boat, so it might be a little tricky.
Yeah.
Unless you have a plan besides that. Or you could obviously just hide and wait to see what happens. But
Yeah,
to get past him, yeah.
I don't really want to see him again. So I will try to like pull off to the side.
Okay.
And watch for me.
Okay.
Like pull my boat up and
Yeah. We'll do it. I mean, he's not really looking for you at this moment. He's occupied, so I'm only going to make it a DC 10. However, Orin, for hiding, has to roll a D10. So it's going to be D10 plus agility. And he's got to get a 10. Yuna, I don't think he's going to have a problem with the 10 no matter what. So I'm not worried about too much about that. And I guess Maya will be the same. Because she doesn't have any particular siding ability either. But if you guys make it, I'll say that she's hidden.
So Orin has to roll a D10?
Yeah, D10 and add your agility, and you need a 10 to not at least get its attention on some level.
Okay. Yeah, Yuna rolled a 10. Oh my gosh, Orin just rolled a 10.
Ah, nice. All right. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Yes. Yeah, so you slide in there, and kind of just as the boat slides in, you see the thing turn, and it's it's not looking at you. It's kind of fishing. Yeah, and that's what it's doing. It's trying to catch fish. It's having a hell of a time catching the fish. He's grabbing them, they're squirting out of his hands. He's trying to like throw them scooping them into his mouth, and he's just not having a very good.
Okay.
He's better at eating people, apparently.
He shouldn't eat the goldfish. All right.
Yeah, I mean, Maya tells you that, some people say that the goldfish, the souls in the goldfish might be their ancestors.
Yes, but ancestors of other goldfish, right?
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
Well, I can't hide all day. And this guy's already angry, so I can't talk to him.
Yeah, you could probably see because you're observing him from a hidden position. He seems to almost be right, like very more angry than you should be because you're having trouble fishing. Like very, very aggressive. Very like the eyes are like bulged out, like foaming at the mouth. Like he definitely is not.
Right.
Yeah, it's like over the top for what you think it should be for the situation, for sure.
Okay. All right.
I mean, now that you're where you are, you could go inland if you want to try to avoid him. Um,
But
but
I have to drag the boat. I have to
you
drag
have to drag the boat. Yeah, which is not going to be the easiest thing. But it's not impossible. But you do know
Well,
that it will.
Orin is still down in strength, although we slept a day, so I get a
one
point back, right?
Yep, 1 point of any ability score. It's down.
Yep. Still, he's not very strong. But I don't want to kill the ape if I don't have to. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go around him.
Okay, through the inside.
Yep. It's not his fault he's giant and angry.
True. It's not his fault that he's giant and angry.
Yeah. Although I would like the gold band around his forehead. But...
Indeed. Go ahead and roll another d5.
Okay. 1.
Excellent. You're dragging best you can. It's pretty lightweight, remember, because you have that toei wood. So you're dragging it, or carrying it through the woods, trying to get as far away from the water as possible before you kind of turn and go north again. And you actually hear the crunching of a band of people or animals or something walking through the woods. Like you can tell it's a relatively large group. You can hear branches crashing. You even hear, well, it's people because you hear them talking. They're probably pretty far away at this point because you're just barely hearing them. But it sounds like some people walking through the woods, a group of them.
All right. I will tell Orin and Maya to stay with the boat, and I will sneak over to see what I can see. See who it is.
Yeah, do a sneak silent.
All right. That's fine. Ooh, that's a bad roll.
Oh, yeah, but you have like a million pluses because of that cloak too, remember?
Oh, yes.
You only need 12.
Plus 10 if moving. Oh, yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, so that'd be 14, 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of creep up, and you stop by some bushes, and you kind of like pull the side, and you see 6 men. They are, they look like they've been in scrap, but you can see they've got like bandages, like there's some of them. They're wearing like leather armor and stuff, but it's like you see areas where it's like torn. One of them has like a big patch over the side of his eye. They're carrying sacks over their backs. They have like swords and various weapons on there, so they look like they're armed. Clearly, they're not particularly. They don't have the weapons out or anything. They're walking. They look like they're traveling somewhere, but they've clearly been in the scrap, probably relatively recently because they. You can see like the like I said, the bandages still have like big red blood, like stains on them as if they very recently had combat. But they don't see you.
Can I hear what they're talking about? Does it sound like they're
yeah, if you wait till they get closer to you, if you You'll just because it will only be DC 10. Just make a hide. Because if they're gonna get that close to you, you'll have to make a hide check.
Okay. Let me just make sure my hide.
Yeah.
My hide in shadows is a +3. So I've got a +15 from the cloak to hide when I'm not moving.
Oh, well then you can't unless you roll a 1.
Yeah. No, I rolled a 12, so that's
Okay. Yeah.
27.
You're basically invisible. Yeah. Yeah, they like stop right next to you. One guy is like he stops and zip. He's like peeing in the bush right next to you, yelling over his shoulder. You know, you get the whole stuff. Yeah. So maybe he's back to you. We'll go there. Yeah. Sounds like they are discussing the loot that they have, and the fact that they are trying to get back to the town. You know, and they're having like a bit. They're not arguing, but they're kind of like, I think the canal is over this way. You know, when we had to run from that creature, actually, would they say creature? Make a luck check to see how much they tell you. Well, I'll do that. They don't see you, but I'll do luck to see how much she tells you.
Alrighty. No. 16.
Okay, so this guy's not saying much. So he's like, you know, that you get the gist that they got in a fight with some kind of creature and they got turned around because they probably had to run from it. And they're not 100% sure where the canal is, and they're trying to head back and they very terribly mispronounce Jaya. So you know they're, and I mean, actually you can see. I just did. You would gather that they're not from here, much like you. In fact, you can tell by the way they're dressed. Like you actually, because you blew up your regular clothes, you're actually wearing the local clothes. But yeah, they're not dressed in like local clothes. They look like, as they call it, downlanders, like people from the south, like you.
So it's just adventurers.
Yeah, you would guess that they're adventurers who were seeking treasure or something, and they got into a scrap with some kind of a large monster. Got a bunch of treasure because they got sacks of treasure that they, you know, before he pees, he like drops the bag on the ground, you hear a clink, you know. But clearly, maybe they even mentioned like a couple of names of people that died, whatever, you know. Oh, we lost, blah blah, you know, that kind of thing.
All right. Well, they're lost. I should probably help.
Okay.
So I'll back off a little bit. I don't want to just appear next to the poor guy going to the bathroom.
You peek your head out.
That'd be quite a shock for him. And then I'll kind of.
It's like when you're in the guy that works in the bathroom and hands you the towel. You know, it's like he finishes, you turn on the sink. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, yeah. So I'll back off. Actually, I probably don't want to do this by myself. Should I leave them? No, I can't. Just leave it. I'll just walk up. Yeah, I'll back off a little so that, you know, I'm not invisible anymore. I'll take the hood of my cloak off.
Okay. And he's gonna come whistling up to the, hey, how you doing? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. You start walking up, you know, in an obvious manner. It takes them a second, of course, and somebody notices you, and you know, he reaches down for his belt, but he doesn't draw. So he's like fellows, or whatever, and they all kind of turn and they look at you, and he says, "Are you alone? These woods are dangerous."
Yes, I know. I have friends. I heard you. I couldn't help but hear that you need to find the canal. I know where it is. I can lead you.
Oh, so we should follow some strange woman who approaches us in the forest.
You don't have to. If you want to stay lost, I'm going back to the canal.
I see. Let me see your ears.
My ears?
Yes.
Okay,
You could be some kind of a fairy.
She'll put your hair back.
He looks. Right, but fairies can change form too.
This is true. I could be a rhinoceros.
How many legs do you have? A rhinoceros?
I'm joking. I have 2 legs. You can see my legs.
Yeah, it does appear to have 2 legs. Well, yeah, we would be quite grateful. In fact, we're just humble traders. Perhaps you have goods that you'd like to trade. We have a great wealth of magic here.
Magic.
Oh, yes. Stolen from an ogre.
From an ogre.
That's right. He was a vicious beast with a giant club. We valiantly fought it.
Did you kill this ogre?
Probably. It's hard to tell with ogres. And one of the guys kind of says, because you're running away. It was mortally wounded, I would say.
Did it have a belly button ring?
Make a luck check to see if one of them would have noticed that.
Okay. Oh, yes, 5 under 12 that time.
Yes, it did. A pearl. I would have taken it as my own, but we have so much treasure that I didn't bother to. It was quite afraid of my prowess. Kind of.
Yeah. You know, some ogres you can actually talk to, and they'll give you treasure.
You must be in a fairy tale. Ogres are dangerous creatures that eat people, and also sometimes pigs. But I guess we eat pigs as well, so that's... But yeah, pigs as well.
Well,
People and pigs.
Let me lead you back to the canal, but I don't think I'll trade with you.
Oh, this is unfortunate. Lead the way, woman.
I'm Yuna. You can call me Yuna.
Oh, I will not give you my name, fairy. What am I, a fool? Jacob is not a fool.
Jacob? Your name is Jacob.
You've read my mind. He starts to draw his sword. You are a fairy.
No. You just said your name out loud. You just said Jacob is not a fool. I'm not a fairy. I'm not trying to trick you. I just thought I would help. I'm an adventurer. What's wrong?
Oops. The stream got all weird. Oh, no, but it says it's still streaming. Let's see if it's actually still streaming. It said error. Error. I'll just look at it for a second and make sure. Okay. I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
I think it's good. It's hard to say. So yeah, so there are these 2 guys, you know, they start to follow you if you lead the way. They're a bit weary, you know, of your fairy powers.
Right.
Where are you going to bring them to? To the boat? And then back the way you came?
No, I know. If I know the general direction of the canal, I'll just show them where the water is so that they're not lost anymore. And then I want to go check on the ogre.
Oh, you want to find? Oh, you want to go find there? You could probably be able to do that. Yeah, sure. It's no. You'll have to go up the river further. You know, you're not that far up the river right now. He was about 2 days' journey up the river, so you got about a day's journey.
That's fine. I'll drop these guys off. I don't like them very much since they attack my friend. But
okay. Yeah, you bring them, you know, near enough to the canal, and they see it, and they thank you, and they say, "Well, we appreciate your help, and if you ever need, you know, anything, we are adventurers, brave and strong." But unfortunately, I cannot tell you our name because I'm not sure that you're not a fairy. Right, Scott? And then Scott's like, "Yeah, don't tell her anything."
I'm not a fairy. If I were a fairy, would I have led you to the canal?
Perhaps this is an illusion.
All right. I promise you it's real enough, and I'll splash a little of the water, and there's goldfish moving away from my hand.
Okay. Yeah, as you splash into the water and the goldfish kind of scatter a little bit. Some of them kind of look at you. Listening guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they know me.
Yeah. So so they he says, Steven, go check the water. And then another guy walks up and checks the water. He says, don't get too close to her. And then he checks the water, and of course it's water. So he says, looks like water. Jacob, don't tell her my name. And they kind of look at you. And he says, I have great magic here, so be wary.
Oh, I'm sure. Great adventurer like you with great magic.
Ogre magic. I am, I'm not going to tell you my name, the Ogre Slayer.
Great slayer
I know
of
you're
ogres.
impressed. I know you're impressed. You don't have to tell me. It's fine. Many ladies fall to my charms, believe me. You're just one of many today.
Jacob the ogre slayer.
Yes. I am under your charm. But do not use it against me. Because I could slay fairies as easy as I could slay ogres. With my sword.
I am not a fairy.
Then why are you so helpful?
Because I'm just Yuna the helpful.
Oh. Let's see. Well, then thank you.
You're
You
welcome.
the helpful.
It's nice to meet you, Jacob, Richard, Scott, and Stephen.
They'll kind of raise their eyebrows a little bit. And then the one guy whose name has not been told yet.
Yeah.
He just kind of looks around and he says, maybe you guys should give me the treasure and because you're probably not going to make it back to town.
Follow the canal. You'll make it. Maybe I'll see you again sometime. And I'll just go away.
Okay.
Go away.
Yeah, you hear them discussing how they're going to get down the canal or follow it along or whatever. The goldfish. And then roll a d10.
D10? Okay.
Yeah.
6.
Okay. For some reason, as you're walking away, you hear the voice of the guy that you didn't know his name. He says, I think this is great magic. And then you hear the other four go, no, Thomas! And then you hear a cat. like a meow. Meow.
Yuna will laugh under her breath.
All right. Yeah, but you can head back and find the boat. You put them not near the ape, I'm assuming, so they don't get killed by the ape. If they go the way you told them, I suppose. Yeah, you go back to the boat, and they're waiting for you. Nothing else has happened to them, as they're chilling out. Okay. It's a pretty safe area, just giant four-armed apes and ogre slayers.
Yeah, not really.
Usual.
I'll tell Aura, we need to go up the river, obviously, but I need to make another stop on the way there. I need to check on there. I think those 6 fools may have heard him.
Yeah. So Maya says, oh, you met some fools?
Yes, 6 men. Fools.
They say that a fool in their gold is quickly parted.
Well, I'm not just going to steal from them.
Oh,
And
is
they
that
were
what
nice
that
enough.
means? Hmm.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sure I could have talked them out of all their stuff, but I'm not going to do that. And anyway, I think one of them might have gotten their comeuppance. Messing with magic they don't understand.
Oh, yes. I've heard the magic can be dangerous.
Very dangerous. Especially for the foolish.
Right. And the foolish are parted quickly from their gold.
Yes, they are. You're very wise, Maya.
Thank you. My grandchildren think that I'm, a fool to go adventuring, but I am having a good time.
Well, maybe I'll take you with me and you can meet there. Would you like to meet an ogre?
Ooh, an ogre. Will he eat us?
He shouldn't. I made friends with him last time.
Let's see. But I've been told that I'm very delicious.
Well, I promise that I think I can keep him from putting you in his cook pot. Or just
Excellent.
eating you. They probably eat you raw, I'm sure.
Oh. I would hope that they'd at least boil some onions with him. Jeez.
Well, if you don't want to meet him, that's fine. I just thought you want to
No, I
adventure.
would. It's an adventure. Oh, yeah, she's excited to meet the ogre. And you're able to, if you were to take the boat and kind of carry it up through the woods, you can, you walk up a few miles, whatever, so you feel like you've gone far enough, and you turn back and head back in the direction of the canal. It definitely eats a lot of time. I mean, it's much slower, obviously, than just going up the river. But you get back to the canal as it's getting close to the end of the day, and you don't see any sign of the ape. It seems to be
good.
it's somewhere else out there.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll fight it eventually, but I didn't want to fight it right then.
Maybe not. Who knows? Yeah. So you set up your camp. I mean, you're too far away from there at this moment.
Okay.
To go see it. I mean, you need to go up the river further. But and actually, because you didn't go as far, you're not near your favorite spot. So you don't get to camp in the
No vines.
with the hug vines. Yeah. So night comes and goes. It passes. It's fine. You are able to get some rest, and Orin can have another point if he needs it.
Yes. Oh, he needs it. We get 1 hit point a day too, right?
And 1 hit point. Yeah, 1 hit point and 1 point to each ability that's down.
Good. Orin's almost back to full as far as his strength goes.
Well, then that's perfect timing for something good to happen. Then he needs to spellburn again.
No, it doesn't have to happen that way.
It just always does.
Okay.
Yeah, so night passes, and you are able to, get in your canoe, your kayak, I should say, the next day, and head back up the river. So you're basically going to where you had left the men from Candy's, where they had met the ogre there.
Right. Yep.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. You can find that spot. I mean, these spots are. That's basically an official campsite now with the table and everything set up.
Right.
You get there, right? You don't see the weird woman that gives the prophecies in the rain. In fact, you don't see really anybody, but you can certainly find the ogre's cave again. I mean, you know where it is. So I'm going to say, it'll take a little bit of time, but you're not going to take the boat with you, right? You're just going to leave it on the shore.
Correct. And I will leave Orin there guarding the boat.
Oh. Okay. I see. Very clever.
Yep.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, leave the wizard by himself. Okay. Yeah, that's smart. So you already lost 1 boat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. He can take care of himself in a pinch.
Oh, that's true. I mean, he can do it always. I think, right? Or it's pretty much a badass. So yeah, You follow back the trail that you remember to get to the ogre's cave. As you approach, you can start to smell it. Of course, it stinks. It smells like rot and urine, and like an ogre's cave smells. Oh, phone call, of course. Oh, and I answered it instead of hanging up, which was terrible. That would have been embarrassing. Although it was probably a telemarketer, so they would have been like, press 2 to get taken off the list, and it actually puts you on more lists. All right, so yeah, so you can smell the cave. You're getting close to it.
Do I see him at all?
High or low?
Hi.
Okay. No. As you're kind of creeping up, or maybe walking normally, because Maya's with you, you see the cave itself. You don't see him outside of it or anything. He could be inside. You'd have to go closer to see the inside of the cave. But as you're approaching, you don't see him like hanging out in the front.
Okay, I'll approach the cave. I'll tell Maya, hang back. I don't know. He might be hurt, and if he's hurt, he might lash out.
Okay. Are you going to sneak up to the front of the cave and peek in, or are you just going to walk up?
I'll sneak and peek, only because, like I said, if he's hurt, he might just lash out at me.
Fair enough. Go ahead and make a sneak silent.
Okay.
DC 15.
Yeah, with my 20.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to miss those, I think, with that cloak, which is nice. It's a good item for her. Yeah, so you creep up. It was a little bit harder than some of the other checks because you're literally being lit and he's inside a dark cave.
Right.
So you creep up and you kind of peek your head around and you can actually you do see his shape in there. You see a large shape of the ogre. You assume it's the same guy. Your eyes are not really fully adjusted yet, but you do actually see too that he's got like It probably looks a little bit odd because he's a big ogre. He's got this little tiny campfire. Like it'd probably even be small for you. Like it's just this tiny little campfire burning, and you see like his big hand over the top of it, like he's warming his hands over this little tiny campfire. So you can see like shadows being cast up onto his face, and you're pretty sure, if you spend a minute just examining, it's definitely the same ogre.
All right.
Before.
Good. I'll take my hood down on my cloak and I'll say, "There, it's Yuna. Are you okay?"
He kind of turns his head and he says, some people took my treasure.
I know. I saw. I'm sorry.
They were
Most
mean.
people, they were very, very mean. Foolish people. Men. I brought you a honeycomb. I'll give him one of my honeycomb.
Kind of shimmies over and sticks his big hand out. He takes it.
Yeah.
He's eating it. Well, I have
Are you
to...
hurt?
My toe. He kind of slides his foot over, and you can see that there's like there's actually like half of a sword is like broken off into his toe.
Oh,
so it's
no.
It's like a splinter.
I have a friend who'd like to meet you. Would you like another friend? Since those men were so mean to you? She might be able to help make your toe feel better.
Yes, my toe hurts.
I would call Maya up.
All right. Yeah, she'll approach. And she looks in.
I'll say, Maya, this is Bear. There, this is Maya.
Ooh. And she immediately notices the toe, of course, and she's like, "Oh, child!" And she kind of, she's a grandmother, so she kind of moves forward, and she's like, "Oh, we got to pull this out."
We do. It might hurt though. There, it might hurt a little bit to pull it out.
No. I don't want it to hurt.
But if we leave it in, it could hurt more. It could get nasty bugs in the wound. You have to let us pull it out so that we can help you.
But it hurts.
It'll only hurt for a minute. and then we can make you feel better.
Uh, okay.
I take his like finger. I'll hold your hand and Maya will pull it out, okay?
Okay.
It's all sticky with honey.
Yeah, you take his honey sticking finger. Yeah, and she comes up and she says, "Okay, we'll count to 3, and we'll pull it out on 3." And then he says, "I can't count that high."
We'll count for you.
Okay. Ready?
Ready. 1.
And she just
2.
pulls it out.
Yep.
Yeah, she rips it out, and of course he's like, "Oh!" He does his foot around a little bit.
You're okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
Poor
he says,
ogre.
"Oh, uh." And then Maya says, "Oh, we got to wrap this up." And she like takes a piece of like a cloak or whatever, and she ties a little bandage on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll feel better, I promise. There. I pour a little water, clean it out a little bit. We wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up an ogre toe.
He's very grateful. Yes. This is not what I expected. But okay, so yeah, he never is. Yeah, he's very grateful that you helped him. Of course, obviously desiring more treasure.
Right.
But he is very happy. So he says, "Thank you, friend."
I know they took your treasure. I'm sorry. If I find some treasure, I will come back and I will share it with you. Look, and she pulls, I still have your ring.
Ooh.
Would you like it back?
No, that's yours. I don't need the treasure. I just like to look at it.
Well, I'll take out a coin
Mm-hmm.
and I'll give it to him and I'll say, well, this is a start.
Oh, all right. He takes it. He's very happy to have it. And he looks. He said he has that chest. Remember that you saw last time? They didn't take the chest. They just took all the treasure out of it, or they took a bunch of treasure out of it. There's still a little bit in there, like odd things. And actually, you can see that it looks like the chest was broken, and he like kind of put it back together. So probably they dragged it out or whatever, and took everything, and he recollected it. And he takes the coin and he puts it into the chest. He closes it. And he says, "Oh, thank you."
You're welcome. I'll see what else I find that I can share there.
You are very nice. You're not.
Yes. I'm sorry that not all humans are like me. And I'll, we'll leave him.
Okay. Roll a d6 for me to see if anything happens to Oren while you guys are gone.
Okay. I'm sure Maya's happy. She met an ogre.
Okay. She's very happy.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. No, it's uneventful for him. Yeah, Maya's very excited that she met the ogre. She said, "Oh, it's different than I thought it would be. I've always heard that they eat people and take their stuff."
Well, maybe some do, but I don't know. I've seemed to develop a rapport with that one.
Well, that's great. This is excellent adventuring stuff to pass on to the grandchildren. And yeah, she walks back to you, and you find Oren. But he's hanging out.
Okay.
By the boat.
We get back in the boat and we
with his familiar.
Yeah, hanging out with his demon slug.
Yeah, demon slug. All right, you get back in the boat and you start heading up the river. Roll me a D3.
D3. I have one of those. 3.
Whoa! Oh, okay. So yeah, so you're traveling. Most of the day is gone by, so this will be day 3, I guess. You're not quite as far as you were, so you're not at the statue, which is where you got to the end of day 3 the last time because you had the delay. But you need to find a place to camp. And as you're kind of looking for a place on shore where you think you could pull over, you actually smell. Smells like maybe like meat cooking, and you kind of look and you can see off the shore a bit. You see a what looks like a small campfire. Where actually, roll a luck check. I'll tell you how much you can see from the distance before you get close.
Look. That's a 9 under 12.
Okay, yeah. So you see there's a man there. He seems to have something that he's cooking. You can smell it. It smells like meat. He's got like a stick basically, and he's like holding it over a fire. He seems to be alone. It's a small fire, no tent or anything. It's just kind of a little campfire.
Okay. What time of day is it?
It's like near the end of the day. Like you're looking for a place to camp, basically. It's like
Okay.
4:30, 5 o'clock. I mean, you could certainly travel a bit further and just avoid this guy altogether, or you could explore.
If he has a camp, maybe we can share his camp.
It does look like he has a camp, but not a very big one. But it does look like he has some kind of a camp.
Does it look like there's enough room that we could, pull up and share?
Yeah, you definitely think on the shore, like where you could put the boat up, but there's room to put your stuff there. Yeah, he's in a bit, so you don't really know exactly how big the camp is, but it looks, it's the woods, so.
Right. Yeah, we'll pull up.
Oh, excellent. All right, yeah. So you pull up, and I guess are you gonna sneak up on him, or are you gonna?
No, I don't want to scare him. I would be like, because there's me and Orin and Orin's slug.
Slug, get 4 of you.
Hey, hail the campfire.
So when you call it, he kind of starts and he looks and he says, "Oh, hey, I don't run into many people out here. Are you exploring?"
Yes, we are. Adventurers, sightseers.
Oh, how exciting. You could say I am doing the same. Come, join me, if you will.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, we'll walk up.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So you walk up and I can't find my mouse. Well, that's always a problem. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, you walk up and I need to move the page. I didn't notice it. Yeah, you can see this guy. He's definitely probably from the area. You can tell by the way he's dressed and his just general disposition, the way he looks. He's got sandals on. He's got the kind of basic clothing that they wear, kind of very lightweight clothing. Sitting next to him, he's like sitting on a rock. Sitting next to him on the ground is like a small sack, like a shoulder sack or whatever. He's got this stick, which he plants in the ground so it stays over the fire with some stuff. And he stands up and he says, "Oh, yeah, this guy actually has a name." Believe it or not.
What's the name?
Kalava.
Talava?
Yep. Like K-A and then lava. Kalava.
Talava. Okay.
Yeah. He introduced himself. Yes. Kalava. I am Kalava. I work, many different jobs. Fisherman, hunter, odd labors in the kingdom. You don't look like you're from around here. Although I like
No.
your clothing.
Oh, thank you. Well, you have to follow local custom when you're in a new place.
Yes. It's always important to follow custom. I'm on my furlough from my job, he says. So I often camp and explore.
That's wonderful. We are also explorers, sightseers, seeing what we can see. I'm Yuna. This is Orin and Maya.
Ah, nice to meet you. Maya kind of looks at him. And she nods and says, "Oh, Says, look at you coming up here. You know that your family's probably worried about you exploring by yourself. She starts lecturing him a little bit. He says, oh, yes, yes, but, I try to be as safe as possible, and I don't take anything from up here because I know it's not, the law prevents us from removing anything from the ruins. Only the, the scaled ones can do that.
Well, I can tell you that that law is broken a lot. I've met many adventurers who go into the ruins.
Oh, well, sure. I'm sure, right, of course. But I am not lawless. Personally, I try to follow all the rules, always. You could say I'm lawful.
Well, that is a good way to live. Good way to live.
Yes, I think so. I mean, the scaled ones have provided a good life for us. Why should we not, take what they give us and nothing more?
Well, I can't say anything against that. That makes sense. And thank you for sharing your camp with us tonight.
Oh, of course, it'll be nice to see people. Even though I do this to get away, but, it's always nice to encounter somebody.
How long are you on furlough?
Oh, about another week or so.
Do you have a family?
Oh, yes. Yes, I've got 2 wives and 16 children.
16
How about
children? You? I have Oren.
Oh. Well,
my traveling companion.
That's good too.
And no children.
No children?
No children.
Oh, well, who will take care of you when you are old?
I will take care of myself.
Oh. Well, that's certainly a unique idea.
Well, where I come from, a lot of people don't have children. They just look after themselves.
Really? People without children?
Yep.
Huh. How quaint. But when you catch 24 catfish and they need to be scaled, who does that?
Well, I don't catch catfish. I travel.
Then how do you have catfish stew?
If I have stew, I usually have it at a some sort of inn or tavern, and it's made for me.
Oh. See, I'm learning so much. This is very interesting.
But you make your own catfish stew?
Well, I mean, one of my wives does.
Oh, of course.
Yes. Hopefully wife number 2, because wife number 1 is a terrible cook.
Oh, well, that's why it's sometimes good to have 2, right?
Yes. Yes. The first one is good for making children.
See?
She has made half of the children, so that's very good.
That is good. It's a lot of kids.
Oh. Maya's like,
She has 42, right? So.
Well, she has 42 grandkids. Yeah, she has 16. She has 16 children herself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she has 16 children. She's not impressed.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that kind of life. I suppose it takes all kinds.
Oh, well, Yes, of course. Well, So when I'm out here, of course, there's no children, so I must stick with just you know heating up some dried meat to eat because there are no catfish here either. The goldfish and the catfish are not getting along.
Oh, there's so many goldfish.
Yes, there are. Yes, some say that the goldfish hold the souls of the dead.
So I've heard. The souls of dead goldfish.
Yes, interesting, right? Do you think that's true?
Very interesting. I actually do think it's true.
Hmm.
Which makes it sad when a goldfish dies.
Well, they're nobody really messes with the goldfish here, so they're pretty safe.
Have you seen anything interesting on this furlough? Anything on your camping trip?
I did see some men from Candiz wandering around about a week ago, maybe a little longer.
Oh, the bears.
Yes,
Yes, I met the bears.
yes, that would be interesting, right? Uh, they normally are not out here in the woods, but apparently they were chasing down some honey.
Yes. Very trendy,
Yes,
those men from Candies.
yes,
Very
yes. They do follow the latest trends. Very, very trendy. Also, there's some. It's teak season,
That's
so
right, it is
there's
teak season.
yes, so there's quite a few. So I mean, if you were not interested in having normal children, you could have a teak nymph. That doesn't
I
take
don't
nearly
think
as
I
long.
still don't think I want that. But thank you
No.
for the information.
Hmm. I always thought it would be good to have. Maybe I will save up some money and have one. Not
Yes,
myself, of course. I mean, with one of my wives.
of course. Right,
Right.
of course. You haven't seen any strange men in the woods, have you?
No, not really. I mean, some say the teak farmers are a bit strange, but who am I to judge? And they make a lot of money doing it.
No men with a little bit larger than average size, wielding strange weapons,
I don't
or
think so.
just weapons.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, average to who? What would you consider average?
Orin, he's about 6 feet tall.
Oh, this guy's taller than him. This guy's bigger.
Okay.
He says, "Oh, well, if you think that's average, then I must keep that in mind." Uh, yes, that I have. Uh, a couple of the teak farmers were on the larger size.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, they always travel in groups
Yeah.
because when
No, I
they're,
think,
processing the teak, they don't like to be disturbed.
of course. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think the person I'm inquiring about would be by themselves. So,
Oh,
never mind. All right.
well, I mean, some people like to be by themselves.
This is very true. As you do. I'm sorry we're interrupting your.
No, I'm happy to have you.
You know.
Please. And then he kind of sits down. He says, "Would you like some reheated dry meat?"
Oh, I'm sure that Oren and Maya would love some.
Ah, okay. reached down and in his sack, he pulls out like a chunk of like dried meat, basically. And he takes he pulls out like a knife, like kind of like a large, you probably use it for hunting,
Yeah.
whatever. But he cuts some slices of it off,
Yeah.
onto his knee, and he takes it and he puts a stick through it and he puts it over the fire.
We would share our cracker fish and stuff that we have
Oh,
with him since he's
oh,
sharing.
excellent. Yeah, the meat it's very good. It's good stuff. It goes good with cracker fish. Um, yeah, he's you have quite a feast. It's not like anything maybe it tastes a little bit like chicken. It's unclear if it's chicken or if it's fish.
I'm not going to inquire too closely.
That's probably smart. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he shares the meal with you. He and then when it starts to get darker, whatever. If as the conversation dies down a bit, he throws some extra wood on the fire, and he basically takes his he kind of pushes away any sticks or whatever on the ground, like near the fire in a certain area, and then he just grabs some leaves and just kind of scatters them there. Puts his sack down like a pillow, and he with his knife underneath it, and he lays down. And he says, "Well, I'm going to retire for the evening.
All right.
I will trust that you can set your own camp. I don't have much more to share besides the meat, unfortunately."
Oh no, conversation and the fire and the meat was enough. Thank you very much, Kalava.
Kalava, yeah. So he says, "You're very welcome. It was great to meet you, Yuna and Oren and Maya."
Yeah.
And he puts
Yes.
that down, and he
But
rolls
we're gonna keep watch because we know there's an angry ape in the woods. So we'll do Yuna first watch, and then Oren.
Okay, and you're gonna give Maya a watch?
No,
No. Okay.
I know she can heal, but she's not a fighter. So as far as I know,
Yeah.
she's not a fighter.
You can heal a crocodile, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let me see. Let's do a little dice roll here. Oh, yeah. The night passes uneventfully. You get up as the sun's starting to get up. You can see that. I mean, he doesn't have much to do. He just kind of sits up on his butt. And he's basically, that's all he's got. And he look Kalava, that is, Kalava. He looks at you and he says, "Yes, well, I'm going to, do some wandering in a bit, but I mean, I guess he was pretty obvious that you came from a boat, so he just says, if I see you again, then perhaps we will sup again."
I hope to see you again. Oh, and if you come across an ogre with a belly button ring, he's a nice ogre. Please don't hurt him.
Oh, a nice ogre.
Yes, a nice ogre.
I believe you, but I will tell you that if I see an ogre, I will be certain to run.
As long as you don't
Yes.
hurt him.
Yes, ogres are very strong.
Well,
I
that one
have
is a friend of
heard-
mine.
Oh. I do not know if this is true, but I've heard they have a weakness.
Oh,
That's right.
what have
Would
you
you
heard?
like to know what it is?
Yes.
Oh. Ogres have sensitive toes. So we are taught that if an ogre begins to chase you, that you should throw a rock at their toe or something like that. If they stub their toe, they will not continue to chase you.
You know, I think that just might be correct.
Yeah, so I have been fortunate enough to not have to test that theory. But if your ogre is friendly, I shall maybe meet
Yes.
said ogre and enjoy some food with him.
Yeah.
I always like a
he
good
has
conversation.
He has a belly button ring, and his name is There. That's how you'll know him.
His name is there.
Yes, it's an odd name, but that's his name.
Huh. I mean, I don't speak ogre. Perhaps maybe it means something else in his language.
Quite possible. Quite possible.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't leave. I mean, if you leave, he just kind of stays there for a bit because he tells you he's going to explore a bit. But he's,
Yep,
he gets the fire going a bit more, and he does some stretching. He does some calisthenics, whatever. He eats a little bit more of the meat, but he doesn't cook. He doesn't heat it up. He just kind of pulls some off and just chews on it as he's doing it. And yeah, I mean, if you leave him there, he just stays basically. He doesn't follow you or anything, as far as you can tell.
Well, we'll go back to the boat.
Okay.
And keep heading down, I suppose.
All right, we'll do one more. All right, roll a d2.
D2, okay. 1.
This is your favorite one. Okay, you're kind of moving up for most of day 4, and the day goes by. It's a beautiful day. It's cool, but the sun's out, and there's plenty of goldfish in the water reflecting. You pass by where the statues were earlier in the day, and they're gone. You kind of cruising along. Things are looking a little bit. The forest is getting a bit deeper. So there's less kind of places on the shore where you can pull over. But you do near the end of the 4th day see a beachhead, and you kind of pull the boat up onto there, and you look, and there is some men. There are 8 of them. They are apparently tied, so they're in a circle, with all their backs together. What happened?
Sorry. Something went weird on me. Are you
Okay,
good?
sorry. Yeah, no, you're good. Okay, so they are, there's 8 of them. They're all got their backs together, so they're forming a circle. They're on their butts with their legs stuck out. They're tied with the rope around them, like cartoon style. They have their pants pulled down to their ankles. And you can see that, I mean, of course, they're tied together, that they are, you probably recognize them because you saw some of them before, and these are the teak farmers that you had seen before. They of course see you because you kind of come out of this beachhead and you just kind of start walking and you see these guys there, and they look up and they're like, oh, thank the gods, we've been ambushed. Come, help us, please. They took the teak.
Oh.
Yes.
We'll go up there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you see, they're all, pantsed or whatever on the ground, but
okay.
yeah, and they're tied very kind of like very cartoony, like somebody took a rope and just went around in circles, around, and they're all bound like this. And of course, the ones that can't see you are like, "What's happening? What's happening?" And they all go, "Oh, somebody's here to help us. We have been saved." Yeah.
And be like, we should probably rescue them, huh?
Oh yes, I've always wanted to have a teak nymph.
Okay. You can still hear me, right? Sorry, it's sounding a little weird for me. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I sound weird?
No, it was me. It was me. I just think it's I don't know. Okay. Ambushed. Yeah, we'll go up there and cut them loose carefully and with my eyes shut.
With your eyes shut?
No, not really. Just joking.
Yeah, they're quite quite naked from the waist down, but I mean they're teak farmers. They don't care. So
right.
You can. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna check, but you maybe don't want to see. How sticky it would be. But anyways.
Oh my god.
You cut them free. I think that's a good place to leave it. We can find out what's going on with these guys next time. Because Yeah. I feel like that's a good spot. Yeah, that's a good spot. So yeah, we will pick up with you untying the teak farmers next session.